Esiason, brought to you this week by McFarland Energy, the home heating, oil, and HVAC pros that Greater Boston and the Cape depend on at McFarlandEnergy.com, by Shaw's and Star Market, perfecting the art of fresh, by Town Fair Tire for the best prices on tires. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire, nobody. And Boomer is brought to you by your New England Kubota tractor dealers, and he joins us on the Harbor One hotline this week. Hey, Boomer.
Hey, good morning, man. After a win, boy, I'm all excited to talk to you guys this morning. You should be in a good mood.
Well, we've had 3 days to let the brilliance of Bailey Zappe soak in, and so have you. So what do you make of it all?
I don't make anything of it other than that the players don't want to lose. You know, that's really what it comes down to. I think I was telling Courtney this a couple weeks ago, that maybe the team would like to lose, the fans would like the team to lose so they get a higher draft pick, but the players do not want to lose. And I don't think the coaches want to lose either. You know, they want their record on their tombstone. And Bill Belichick, we all know what he's chasing. And it was good to see him have a little fun, by the way, on Saturday on ESPN's Game Day. But, you know, it's a lost season for sure. And it really comes down to where they're going to end up in the draft pecking order and whether or not they can get one of these top quarterbacks.
Let me ask you a question. If Robert Kraft was thinking about firing Bill Belichick, does what happened Thursday change his mind?
No, I don't think so. But, you know, watching Robert Kraft on Game Day as well on Saturday, you would never get the idea that there was any change coming. Like, you know, he appreciates everything that Bill Belichick has done for him, and rightfully so. And watching Bill put that Navy football helmet on was classic. I love it because, you know why? It showed like he's a human being.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he's such a stone-faced kind of robot when he stands in front of your media up there after games and before games and never really expands on any of his answers. And I think that frustrates all of us. But then when you actually know Bill Belichick and you know the type of guy he is away from the game, and then you see him put that helmet on there, you know, it shows, you know, that guy is human and he's quite funny to be.
Boomer, the season's too far gone now, but if Bill had decided to go from Mac to Bailey earlier in the season, do you think that we could have more wins under our belt, or do you think that doesn't matter?
I don't think that really matters. I think they were going to struggle no matter what. I mean, they played a Pittsburgh team that was terrible. They actually did get shut out in the second half, by the way. You know, Pittsburgh's got their own problems. Bailey played a little bit for Mac and didn't come in and really do much. Maybe it was unfair to him that he didn't really get a chance to game plan for a team. But, you know, he had a game plan for a team on a short week. Like I said, Pittsburgh's got their own set of problems. You know, I think we'll see a little bit more of who Bailey Zappe is this week against the Kansas City Chiefs, who I'm sure are smarting a little bit this morning after yesterday's loss.
Speaking of their problems and the word fired, fans and media in Pittsburgh want Mike Tomlin fired.
It feels that way. I hope that doesn't happen. I think Mike Tomlin, like Sean McDermott and Bill Belichick, all deserve credit for being the coaches that they have been for their respective franchises, dealing with a lot of different things that we never see, yet keeping the whole ship righted and keeping it straight and always giving their teams a chance to win. Maybe the Patriots not so much the last couple of years, but Tomlin has been, you know, face of that franchise ever since Bill Cowher left. And then, of course, you know, Sean McDermott dealing with what he's dealing with up in Buffalo this week, and I think his players played for him to show how much they support him. You know, these coaches that have been around a long time, I kind of appreciate the difficulties that they deal with week in and week out, especially during the NFL season. There's a lot of stuff we don't see in the offseason. I just think it's a fan base that expects brilliance every time the team is out on the field, and unfortunately they haven't gotten deep in the playoffs in quite some time. So I think that's why he is dealing with what he's dealing with now, just like every other coach in the league that has got a losing franchise.
Boomer, have you ever been in that situation before where you got like Bailey Zappe and Mac Jones, and it almost seems like the locker room is preferring Bailey over Mac, just maybe because of the way Mac carries himself on the field and showing his players up at times? Have you ever been in that situation where you felt like the locker room was either for you or against you, and what did you do and how did that make you feel?
Well, I know at the end of my career in 1996 for the Cardinals, most of the players, I got sat down because I had a bonus coming to me, believe it or not, of like $400,000 if I would have started one of the last two games. And with 2 games left, they told me that they wanted to take a look at another guy. And and then I filed a grievance and everything else for $400,000. Seems so ridiculous in this age of $700 million athletes.
Yeah, well, with inflation, that would be worth 110 grand right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just like everything else. Don't get me started on a different kind of topic, okay? So, yes, to answer your question, I kind of went through that, and I remember a lot of my teammates saying, we wish you were playing, you should be playing. Even the opposing team, as we were going into the locker room in Arizona, were telling me, how come you're not playing? And, I explained to the players, a lot of it had to do with money. But, yeah, it's not a fun place to be, honestly, if you're Mac Jones, I'm sure. I'm sure Bailey Zappe's getting a little bit of a bump out of this because he knows his teammates want him on the field. One of the reasons that those players don't really want Mac Jones on the field is because just the incredible amount of interceptions he was throwing in the red zone without explanation. I mean, when you look at it on film, it looks about as bad as it is, and like you can't rectify in your head why Mac made those mistakes, and I don't think Mac can either. So I think that's why the players probably prefer Bailey Zappe.
Boomer, you bring up Sean McDermott. Where do you fall? How do you wrap your head around the 9/11 analogy that's come out? And do you think it's weird timing that during a season like they're having that now that's all coming to light?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, it was a bad job by Sean bringing that up and using it in that context. I lost over 200 friends on 9/11, and my offices were on the 101st floor of the North Tower. So, those comments really stung me, and I felt that way, and I said that down here on WFAN when I did read them. I do believe in second chances. I do believe in apologies, and I do know who Sean McDermott is as a human being, and I know that the moment he said what he said, he told his team that he was sorry that he used that as an example. So I can only go by what a man's character is and what he has done his entire life, and he made one mistake, and he used the wrong group of people to try to highlight as teammates in communication, with the way that he, explained it to his team. I don't even know if his team even understood what the hell he was talking about, to be honest with you. But while I was insulted, I also understand who he is, and I see how many people have come to his support. And that means a lot to me as somebody who was directly affected by the 9/11 tragedy.
Speaking of second chances, Patrick Mahomes appeared to want one yesterday, Boomer.
He did, and reminded you of D. Ford back in 2019, didn't it? Wow.
Somebody got robbed.
Somebody got robbed. Yes, said he got robbed. And
Splitting hairs.
Oh, Wiggy, come on.
Man, come on, Boomer. You know better than that. As an offensive player, generally in that situation, the referee comes up to you and says, hey, back up a little bit next time.
In that situation, what was the referee supposed to tell the player what to do? I mean, a player's supposed to look at the referee and say, am I okay?
I mean, he was on the ball.
Kadarius Toney never did that. You could see he's clearly in the neutral zone. You're not supposed to be in there. And by the way, Terry McAuley, NBC did a good job with this at halftime last night of the Cowboys-Eagles game. And he, frankly, explained it clearly and said, last year we only had 2 or 3 of these calls. This year we've already had 11 of these calls because it's been a point of emphasis with the officiating, and it was clearly the right call. Now, we can all talk about put your flags away late in the game, what the players play. And nobody loves a better offensive play than I do. And, I mean, it was an amazing play by Travis Kelce, especially with Taylor Swift in the box. Could you imagine what she was saying? What did he just do? What did he just do? Oh, my God, what does that mean? I could just imagine what that was like. So it's unfortunate that the play was called back. But Kadarius Toney, he was a bust here for the New York Giants. He has not found his footing in Kansas City. And I see him standing there on the sideline, and, he's mad, I think, at himself. He should be, at least, and down because of the mistake that he made. But I kind of understand the frustration with Patrick Mahomes and the fans. But, my God, it's the right call 100% of the time.
Question of the week for Boomer is brought to you by McFarland Energy, the trusted source in Greater Boston, the North Shore, and all of Cape Cod for home heating, oil delivery, and HVAC work. You mentioned Cowboys-Eagles, couple MVP favorites facing each other last night. Is Brock Purdy in that mix?
Oh, Brock Purdy is so much in that mix. Brock Purdy, Tua, we'll see tonight. Dak Prescott helped his cause last night. And by the way, 2 weeks in the NFL is an eternity. 2 weeks ago, Philadelphia beat Buffalo in what was the game of the year, in my eyes, at least up to that point. And here we are 2 weeks later. Philadelphia has dropped to the number 5 spot after holding on to the number 1 spot 7 straight weeks. The Dallas Cowboys have taken over the NFC East, and the new number 1 team in the NFC are the San Francisco 49ers, led by the aforementioned Brock Purdy.
Well, Boomer, I would say this. With Joe Flacco about to go from his couch to the playoffs, there's still a chance for you.
There is still a chance. I'm just trying to figure out which team. Maybe if Brock Purdy gets hurt, I could go out there. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Really, honestly, we all watch football all weekend long. There's something about the way the 49ers are playing right now. I could just watch their games explicitly because they are so good at what they're doing.
I think you mean exclusively.
Did I say? What did I say?
You said explicitly.
Explicitly, yeah, explicitly. Well, it's
Both
early in the
work. I mean,
morning. Hey,
honestly,
both work.
if I make a mistake, Hill, you're all over it, for God's sake.
Welcome to my life.
Your neighbors would prefer that you put your pants on. Really,
Yes.
honestly, they would,
All right.
while
Yeah,
watching football.
I would sit and watch him naked if I could.
It's Christian McCaffrey. He'll do that to you.
All right, Boomer.
Yes, he will.
Thank you, Boomer. We'll talk to you
Okay,
next week.
guys.
All right.
See you next week.